So that is our USL. Let's move on to Brazil, BRZU. Let's go ahead and look at the 2-hour chart. And we can see that this channel we have right here is capturing a large amount of the price action since last July. We've been stuck in this channel. Even though if you wanted to draw a longer time frame upwards channel, that might be possible. So for the long term, I guess I am bullish on Brazil. It's in a year-long uptrend. It's at pretty firm support levels right here. I drew this support line right here, and we can go ahead and bold that just to show its significance. So we have a support level here, resistance, 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 resistance. Now it's support. Come up, test our upper channel line, and now it's support again. Upper channel line, upper channel line, and now it's acting as support as we saw that huge sell-off. Another thing of note in the higher time frame here is that there is a history of recovery after a large sell-off in price. For example, we can see back here in November, we fell about the exact same distance and we fully recovered it in the next 2 months of trading. So even though we do have this big scary dump in price right here, there is a history of it recovering quite well. Let's see here. What else do I see? In the medium term, there was a huge dump on financial or fundamental news for Brazil. And we can see that this price action, this rise from the bottom of 23 up to what it is of 28, 22 right now, may have just been a dead cat bounce for all we know. For all we know, it might be one of these. Over here, we see that, a massive sell-off and then short-term bounce before it consolidates down here at its support level for the next, 2 months before following up higher. So what might be happening right here, we might be seeing a dead cat bounce, and it might be followed by some chop for the next several months. So I'd be interested in buying more BRZU if it gets back down to these $24 ranges, and just taking my luck and seeing if anything were to occur. We can see that this dead cat bounce occurred over here because our volume, our CCI, dropped way below 250, which is my max level of volume before. I think it's very oversold, coupled with the fact that the RSI dropped all the way down to call it 8, which is about as low as I've ever seen it, and our CCI actually came all the way down to 400. This is extremely oversold conditions, and we can see this further supported by our second volume indicator down here. So let's move on to a shorter time frame. I just want to see what I wrote for it. It looks like we broke the ascending triangle, and there's been large sell volume coming into the stock. So what did we have in previous videos? We saw a cup and handle / head and shoulders in one of these videos, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. This was pretty obvious. I had a nice little trade in here. And then I saw what I predicted to be a larger cup and handle playing out right now. And to be honest, it might still be playing out. We might still be able to extend these trend lines, which seem to be acting as some relative support right here. We could potentially clone this and see if we can find any type of a channel that this is in. This might be a fair enough channel. But as far as our ascending triangle goes, we came down, touched A, B, C, D, and then our E is supposed to come right here, and we're supposed to break out and move higher. However, we dropped back down and moved lower. So what I'm going to go and do is delete this because this is no longer valid. And this is our predicted price movement. And it did actually, follow this fairly well, except for these last 2 arrows or 3 arrows that I have right here. So if this larger cup and handle wants to play out, it's getting to the point where the price is getting a little bit too far on the right side for me to call it still valid, but I guess we'll wait another day or 2 before we go ahead and ultimately call it. So that is BRZU. I guess I'd be looking for a support over here, or down here at the $27 range, and I might make a trade based on this support that we have right here. Moving on to SPXL, the market.